Best Buy Canada's blog, and this week I've installed and I've been testing out Ring Alarm. So I've installed the Ring Alarm starter kit. This starter kit came with 2 of these keypads. It came with 3 contact sensors, which I have right here in my hand. I disabled one and took one down just to show. And it also came with 2 motion sensors. So I've got one motion sensor installed on top of one of my doors, and I also have a motion sensor installed in my back door. The key, I think, with Ring Alarm that makes it different, sets it apart, is how simple it is. It's not, there's not a lot of bells and whistles on this. As you can see, there's a little tiny Wi-Fi signal there. That will flash if you don't have a strong enough Wi-Fi connection. This is the battery light, so this is plugged in directly to an outlet. So if that light goes off, it will run for approximately 24 hours on backup battery. So it's home, and then away, and then off. And that's essentially it. So you just key in your code, and you hit one of these buttons, whichever one you want. If you hit home, this will arm your system so that the doors and the windows that have sensors on can be triggered by, if you open them, there will be a short delay before the alarm goes off. But if you have away, everything works, including the motion sensors. So with home, motion sensors don't work. With away, they do. The starter kit also comes with a range extender. So I have the the Ring base station plugged right into my router. Very compact base station. There's the plug-in in the back. I have it plugged in directly via Ethernet. I just didn't want to rely on my Wi-Fi. I already have quite a few smart home systems in place, and I didn't want the alarm to ever have to rely just on the Wi-Fi like everything else. So it is plugged straight into my router, and this is the central hub of Ring. So if the alarm sounds, this is where the siren comes out, and I'll show you how loud the siren is. And if the doors chime, it comes from here. So it also comes from the sensors, actually. You can hear the doors chime right in the sensors. This will also run on backup battery power for approximately 24 hours. And there is an indicator right on the top of whether or not the battery and the Wi-Fi signal are strong. I've got the range extender plugged into my kitchen because my house is long and there are quite a few dead zones in this house. So having the range extender between my front door and my back door I thought was pretty good placement. So before I get into what I think of Ring Alarm, I'm just going to show you a little bit about how you install it. In the box, when you're unboxing Ring Alarm, you'll see that there's this kit particularly, there's 2 keypads, 3 sensors, and 2 motion sensors, as well as the range extender. The control panels plug into any standard outlet. You just thread the electrical cords through the back of it and plug them into the outlet to use them. The contact sensors come with an install kit, so you can use the sticky tape or you can use the included screws to mount them up on your doors and windows. I have this contact sensor mounted up on my window. To install the contact sensor, you have to add it to the app first, and you can easily do that just by scanning that QR code on the back. Once you've scanned the QR code on the back, you can decide between sticky tape or using the screws. And the main thing to keep in mind when you're installing these is that they have to be very close together. It's a similar install process for the motion sensors. You do peel a piece of tape off the back of the device and you scan the QR code and add it to the app. The app does recognize it almost immediately, and then all you have to do is hang the motion sensor up and it's ready to go. This contact sensor I've placed on my door. Now, because I don't have traditional door frames, I had to place it above the door frame and keep the contact sensor very close. When you open the door, you will hear a chime if you've set it for that. So you can also turn the chime off, or you can set it to a different sound. So I've armed, just to test out the system, I've armed the Ring Alarm, and as you can see that red dial, every moment that you get a little closer to your system being fully armed, the dial turns it just glows a different color. You can see it go and so it's like a visual so that you can see how you're progressing. Once that dial is fully lit up, then the alarm is on. Okay, so right now we're going to try to trigger this alarm. Ooh, are you ready? So as you could hear, that was extremely loud. Even if I had the base station in some other room in the house, I don't think there's any way you could miss that sound. It's a very good deterrent if somebody's outside of your house and attempting to break in. So, what do I think about Ring Alarm? Well, I already have a smart home alarm in my house, so this wasn't difficult for me to set up. I've watched people install alarm systems in the house too, so installing all of the contact sensors and the motion sensors was very easy. Knowing the best place to place them was also something that wasn't unfamiliar to me. So using this Ring alarm, though, I've found is actually easier than any other alarm that I've ever had. Having the app on your phone to arm and disarm your system makes it very easy to obviously know that if you left your house and you want to know if your system is armed, if you forgot, or you want to arm it while you're away, you can do that. You can also see which doors and windows are being triggered specifically. You can see whether or not motion is being sensed inside of your house. And the keypads also make it very, very easy to use. I really like how there's two keypads, and they are included with the starter kit, so you can have one at your front door and one at your back door. By far, the best part of Ring Alarm is how inexpensive it is to have home monitoring. So, a standard alarm package I know has cost me $30 a month for on a 2-year contract. With Ring Alarm, you pay $10 a month. Or $100 per year, and that's it. You can cancel it at any time, and that gives you 24/7 monitoring of your home. So, if your alarm goes off when you're not home, you will get a notification on your phone, but you will also be in contact with Ring Alarm, which I think is an amazing deal, and it's what sold me on this alarm right out of the gate. So it's easy to use, it's easy to install. Are there any downsides to Ring Alarm? In my opinion, the only downside is that there's no voice assistant use with this alarm yet. I have read that they may add it in the future, but right now you can't use Google Home, you can't use Alexa. You can't control your alarm with your voice. Now, it sounds like a downside given that all of our smart home devices are pretty much controlled using one of or the other. But the real issue is do you want to be trying to scream at your alarm or your home assistant over the sound of that alarm? So if you're trying to disable it, do you really want to be yelling to disable it? And I think as far as security is concerned, that actually makes sense to not have it in that case. So that's it for my look at Ring Alarm. You can see my full written review as well as other photos on Best Buy Canada's blog. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below and I will do my best to answer. Thanks for watching.